Welcome to the Vault Excel. Thank you for joining me. Happy Monday. Hope y'all had a wonderful weekend. My movie suggestion for the week is by TMZ. It's about an hour and 8 minutes long. The Downfall of P. Diddy. Now playing on Tubi if you are interested. The Downfall of P. Diddy. Sean Puffy Combs. This is a documentary by TMZ, 1 hour, 8 minutes. Tubi app. If you'd like to watch the said content, this is a 4-part live, and I will try to be brief. It's very hard when I do a lot of topics, but it is what it is. Thank you for joining me. The next slide will be pertaining to castration. Should offenders be castrated? I put a poll up on my channel. I will go over those polls after I read the said information pertaining to these topics and also play the audio. Let's get down to business, everybody. Let's talk about our first conversation. TikTok says they will not sell. So they're not going to sell no matter if they're banned in the United States or not. Well, now, let's hear that said information. Thank you for joining me.
Well, new tonight, TikTok's Chinese parent company said that it will not sell this social media platform as the U.S. ban looms. So this is the first official response from the Beijing-based company since President Joe Biden signed a bill that could lead to a nationwide ban. ByteDance denied plans to sell after reports surfaced that was exploring the option. Well, under this new U.S. law, TikTok is now forced to find a new owner within 9 months or be banned from the United States entirely. TikTok CEO said the company will fight in the courts to stay online. So far, a number of countries have banned officials from downloading TikTok. India banned TikTok entirely in 2020.
So India banned TikTok entirely. Other countries, what other countries have banned TikTok? Very interesting information. And as you know, things are done differently in third world countries, as we've seen with, countries like, as I call them, third world countries. They do things differently. They think differently. They have a different mindset. And it doesn't mean that everyone in those countries like Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, that they all think the same. But when you are accustomed to a certain way of life, you either ride the ride or you get off. And if you get off the ride, there are penalties to pay. Should America be trying to ban TikTok? America says basically they're only doing this because of security. Obviously, they have some type of information believing that the Chinese are spying on us. And as I've said before, there have been many times when I have talked about certain content in text messages, Messenger, and then all of a sudden something will come up in Gmail or on the Facebook queue pertaining to something that I've said. And that to me is dangerous. Just like your search engine, you go in and search for something. You could be searching for a new comforter or bedding or coffee maker. Then all of a sudden you're getting BS in your Gmail about a coffee maker and the latest gadget from such and such pertaining to coffee makers, blenders. And you're sitting there telling yourself, okay, what the hell is going on? See, you don't know what is the 411 with these apps. I'm quite frankly tired of dealing with all of it. I like the modern technology to a point, but there are repercussions for dealing with these apps, these cell phones, iPhones, Androids. They're problematic. A lot of people who are older, they don't like fooling with electronics, computers, iPads. Hell, they didn't like it when the TV had the damn VCR connected to it. They didn't like the VCR when it was on its own, even though it was very simple. Yellow, white, red cords, plug it into the back of the DVD player or the VCR, plug it back into the TV. But for some people, that was complicated as hell. Now you've got computers, iPads, apps. And these apps are dangerous because I have been locked out of my own Google account, fucking with a damn app. And this is when I was covering the Quentin Simon case. I got locked out of my own Google account trying to go over to the GoFundMe. And somehow when I went into that, it jumped from GoFundMe to Twitter to back to GoFundMe. However it went, boom, I was out of Google just like that. It was like a glitch on my screen. And next thing you know, they try to get me to sign in. And I didn't have my newer number associated with my Google account. So I couldn't even get in my own Google account. And that's a dangerous thing when, one, I'm a YouTuber, I rely on Google. It's bad. So I'm going to say this to all of you listening. You need to be very careful in navigating in these apps. Just like Reddit. Reddit, they have me banned for some reason. I don't even go on Reddit. I think I went on Reddit during the Kohlberger bullshit. So obviously something I've said on Reddit, either pertaining to this Quentin Simon case or Kohlberger, they say my account is banned. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I don't even go on this fucking account. What are you talking about? So obviously something I must have said in a commentary that they banned me. I don't really care because I don't believe half the shit you put on Reddit any damn way. Because everything's he said, she said. That's just how I feel. So you need to be very careful going into these apps. You need to be careful about hitting links in your on your phone through messages. Also in your computer. I've had my computer shut down 2 times in the past 7-8 months. All because I'm on Facebook. And over to the right, it'll have Messenger. And then it'll have messages. Like I got a message in Messenger. But you have to pay very careful to that to know that nobody has sent you a damn message. It's some goofy ass link to shut your computer down so you can go over to some other app link to try to get them to work with your computer so they can defraud money out your account and ask you for $40, $50 to fix something. It's just a bunch of bullshit. All this is BS. And I told myself, and I've said this lately, and I've said this to another YouTuber recently, if it was not for me being a YouTuber, I would not waste my breath fooling with any of this bullshit. Because I don't have to be on Facebook. I don't have to be on Instagram to sell myself for the things I want to do, perhaps. But what is the end all and the pay all for me? You know what I'm saying? Having an account over here, having an account over there. And it's to the point where I have become just annoyed with dealing with Google, Newsbreak, endless notifications because I got the notification bell on to get notifications. I only do that because, one, I'm a YouTuber and I bring, information to the public. But if it wasn't for that, I really don't have to have Newsbreak. I really don't have to have the notifications on. And even if I wasn't a YouTuber, I tell myself, well, you still like to watch the news. You're not watching cable. So it'd be good to know, what's going on in the community. But damn, I'm just exhausted because this takes a lot of work doing what I do. And as I've said many times during the live streams, I don't get the just due for the work that I put in because I think I do a lot of work in reading and Googling and, double checking articles to make sure I'm bringing the latest information. And I thank Mr. Chris Thorns for that because he told me that, always read every article that you can before going live because there's always something different in each article. And that has been a lifesaver for me because I know there's always somebody that comes in, oh, you didn't, they said this and that ain't what happened and blah, blah, blah. And it's like a screaming match on he said, she said about some shit we don't know nothing about. But, hey, it is what it is. TikTok says they're not going to sell. What's going to be the catch-all, end-all? I don't know. Tennessee. Lord have mercy. There's a bill that's been passed that says if you're a parent, that you're going to have to pay for your children's crimes. Do you all agree? After your child's first offense, you will be liable to pay a fine for whatever your child has done. Now, some of you might say this isn't good. This is a bad idea. But then you got to ask yourself, as I just said, the repercussions. How long are the courts going to deal with your wayward child? Because what starts off to you or whomever as petty crimes leads to bigger crimes, because that's just really common sense. You keep doing the same thing over and over and over. Where is it going to go? So your child is vandalizing cars or vandalizing mailboxes or breaking and entering the cars or beating up kids or fighting. Where do you think that's going to go? So that's something to think about as a parent. Queen City News is the source. Let's see what these people have to say in North Carolina about Tennessee business.
First offense. If parents can't afford the fine, they can work it off.
1 second.
Fining parents for crimes their children commit. That's the basis of a new bill called the Parental Accountability Act.
It is based out of Tennessee. If passed, courts would be able to fine parents for each subsequent crime after a juvenile's first offense.
Hey, perspective. Thank you all.
For the fine, they can work it off through community service.
The leaders hope the bill will serve as a wake-up call.
If we don't sound the alarm now, what's going to happen this summer when the kids are out of school?
The lawmaker who is sponsoring the bill said the fines aren't meant to be punitive, but rather encourage parents to pay closer attention to what their children are up to.
All right, let's talk about this with Chief Legal Analyst Cliff Rhodes to this conversation here. When you look at the rising crime with juveniles, do we think a bill like this actually could be brought to the federal level?
I don't know about to the federal level, but I can say I know that there are a number of states that are scrambling now trying to find ways to curb juvenile crime. There is a rise in juvenile crime, specifically violent juvenile crime across the country. No one can make ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is a real thing that's out there. This is a novel approach that attempting to try to penalize and not just penalize parents, but penalize their pockets, which is something different. Mecklenburg County or North Carolina, I should say, has something not similar, but that's on the books for kids for truancy. I used to be a truancy court judge. If your children don't go to school and you don't force them to be there, you can be held, the parent, be held criminally responsible for that. So then you put them in a program to divert the parents from being charged. You kind of weigh the pressure on them. And so something like that already exists. When you're talking about a punishment, a fine, and then you're saying that it's not, punitive. It kind of is punitive.
You're talking about this being a novel idea. You have, as a criminal defense attorney, you've got a little bit of experience. You haven't seen any kind of law like this across the country at any point.
I have not, but I mean, I can say I would hate to be the person or the group of people in the room trying to figure out how to solve this problem. Because as a criminal defense attorney, I have noticed a trend over the last number of years of people are getting younger and younger and younger with the serious types of crimes.
That happened here in Charlotte, right?
Right here in Charlotte. So we are experiencing that, and I'm not trying to flame the fire for that. But I also am not saying that I agree if this is the way. Because to make criminality, to connect a monetary amount to it, if you think about it, if a young person is already convicted of a crime, they at some point will go to court, and then there'll be restitution connected to whatever crime is there, either some court fine or fee, but most ultimately, if it was a crime that was connected to a business or an individual, there'll be restitution. And who ultimately ends up paying that anyway? The parents. So now going out and creating this new law that just directly connects the parents, there's this undertone, and I was looking at it, my first gut reaction was like, hold on, it does seem to have some little racial undertone. I mean, there's nothing to say that was written in the law, but when I listened to the introduction of the bill, the individual said that there has to be accountability to the parents, and people would take more time watching their kids. There's a lot of assumptions there. First, I would say is that most of these people are just working, trying to figure how I can make it from paycheck to paycheck. Right. And now while I'm doing that, to now say that part of your paycheck, because you failed to do what you should be doing, is now going to be taken. I don't know if that helps or hurts the situation.
Right, excellent point. A little different of a point, though, kind of with this case, that when we saw in Michigan for the first time in history, parents criminally being charged and being convicted for what their child has done. And it seems like this
very good point.
Conversation to be able to have different frames of thought with it.
Very good point. I'm also going to play you audio pertaining to the officials down in Shelby County, Memphis, who has a lot of crime. Maybe they feel like, hey, we've got to do something. We cannot continue to have these children going to court, having people, harmed by the children's actions, whether they're children, whether they're adults. Crime is up in America, period. Whether it be with children, whether it be with adults, whether it be black, white. You hear this black man speaking. He's I guess a judge, a former defense attorney. He's basically saying what he read, I guess, in the affidavit or whatever the paperwork. It seems racially has a racial undertone. I don't know. I haven't read the documents. I don't know. But we do have a lot of crime in our urban areas. We do have a lot of crime, period. So whether it be black, white, Hispanic, whoever is out here breaking the law, children, it's got to stop. Something has to be done. And we know that you can bitch and moan all day about stop that, don't do that. Like you're talking to a toddler, you're talking to yourself. Same thing with an adult. We have the death penalty in certain states. That doesn't deter people from killing. We have jails, prisons. That doesn't deter people. You let them go. You let them bond out. They still go out and commit crimes. Then what is the solution? Because everybody has their own idea of what you should do to help somebody stop breaking the law. Okay? Let's be truthful. Now we got, hey, let's make the parents be responsible, pay fines. Okay, Michigan says, okay, let's send their ass to jail. Then we've got the death penalty. Then we got what? Mental programs, rehab. Still don't want to act right. That's the point of the story. You cannot make a person act right. So now you got to go into the belly of the beast with this situation. Parents start getting fined. Now they're going to probably look at their child as the enemy, which, hell, in some cases, they probably are. Hey, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this? You're costing me money. You got to stop doing this shit. You're breaking my bank. So then what's going to happen with the parent and the kid? Because even if you didn't have this law, you are going to still have to do something with your child. Because there is no way big queen, big girl, is going to let somebody stay in my house to run over me and or go out here to the street and break the law and think that I'm going to give you a warm bed to sleep in, that you're going to eat for free, slumber for free, and have the police knocking on my door looking for you. Because that's what you need to understand about having a child wayward. Same thing with dealing with somebody wayward. Same thing if you go out here and break the law. The law will be at your door eventually. So this is what parents need to realize in dealing with a child that's wayward, whether this law exists or not, whether the law in Michigan exists with putting the parents in jail for their children's crimes. You are going to have to pay eventually because you can get evicted from your house. Now you got to go find you somewhere to live, an apartment, trailer, wherever you at. You got to get your child in order and tell your child, this can't go on. One, you need to be trying to have a better life. Two, I can't save you. Three, you're a bad example for yourself, myself, my other children. You got to have a talk with your kids. And naturally, you can't watch your children 24/7. Children are going to get in things out of sight, out of mind. They're going to get in trouble. They're going to break the law. They're going to fornicate. They're going to rob. They're going to steal. They're going to lie. They're going to do all type of crazy shit. They're going to get into drugs, alcohol. This is why you have to start talking to your children at a young age. You have got to build you a leader, not a follower. Because this is how children fall by the wayside. One, they don't have anybody to instruct any discipline in them. Children being easily coerced. Because guess what? If you're easily coerced as a child, teenager, you're going to be easily coerced as an adult. And once you're an adult, nobody cares about your home life, what happened to you as a child. You're on your own. You're 18, you're breaking the law. Oh, well, your ass going to jail. So you got to instill something in your kids. Hey, don't do that. That's not good for you. You don't want to be getting in trouble. You don't want to be drinking. You don't want to be, using drugs. You don't want to be breaking the law, going to jail, stealing, whatever. Because I can't save you. And that's the worst thing you can have is a wayward child. I don't care what anybody says.
I am a huge fan of the conversation being open. I want to be in the room where they're making decisions on how we can stop it. Because right now, it is definitely a glaring and alarming problem.
I will leave it there. Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rose.
All right, that's Queen City News coming out of Charlotte. Let's see what our great friends in Tennessee have to say about this debacle. Shelby County, doesn't shock me none that Shelby County would be the county that wants to bring forward the bill because there's a lot of crime down in Memphis. For those who are not familiar, Memphis, Tennessee is in Shelby County. So it doesn't shock me none that this bill would be brought forward from that said county. It's just terrible business. Going through my database. Give me one moment, please. Trying to bring forward all this content for you all. Please check out the Queen short. Wow, when I tell you 1.3 thousand views on that Sean Puffy Combs. He wants to claims dismissed by Joy Dickerson Neal from 1991. Kamala Harris's disorderly detail. Harvey Weinstein admitted to Bellevue. Jeezy and Jenny Mize, he said, she said debacle. Please tune into that content. My movie of the weekend, The Killing Hour, 1982, free on, I believe it was Tubi. If I'm not mistaken, Tubi or Roku. Feel free to go check that information out. I'm trying to pull up this information because I had another video that I wanted to play you all. I've got so many videos. Lord have mercy. We're going to talk about castration. Is that the method to stop pedophiles and rapists from assaulting people? Maybe, maybe not. So I can't see my content for some reason. Sorry about this. I had it. Hold on 1 minute, everybody. 1 second, please.
Gotta do something to get their attention.
Parents might want to watch their children a little more closely tonight. A bill passed in Tennessee will now hold parents partially responsible for crimes committed by their kids. Hello, I'm Greg Hurst.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Skurlock. It comes as part of an effort to curb juvenile crime in Memphis and in the state. WRG's Ashley Paul joins us now live outside of 201 Poplar after speaking with Sheriff Floyd Bonner about this bill and a couple of others that will soon become law. Ashley?
Yeah, well, it was just yesterday that Sheriff Bonner released a statement expressing concerns over the growing number of juveniles that are staying at the Youth Education and Prevention Center. And tonight when we spoke with him, he spoke with us about some of the efforts being made to curb that juvenile crime.
If we don't sound the alarm now, what's going to happen this summer when the kids are out of school?
113 juveniles are spending the night at the Youth Education and Prevention Center tonight. A slight dip from the 118 that were there yesterday, but uncomfortably close to the record high 125 since the center opened last summer.
Is calling all parents to please, let's just take a look at our kids and what they're doing and who they're hanging out with.
WREG sat down with Shelby County Sheriff Floyd Bonner today discussing these concerns and a potential solution passed today in Nashville. Under the Parental Accountability Act, after the first offense, parents of juveniles who commit a crime will be required to pay $1,000 for each additional offense. If they can't afford the fine, they will be able to work it off through community service.
And I had to go along the interstate, and my friends, neighbors, loved ones saw me picking up trash because something that my son had done, I think I would pay a little bit more attention.
It's part of an ongoing effort to curb juvenile crime in Shelby County and across the state. Another bill passed this week, also with juvenile safety in mind, will allow teachers to be armed at school.
No, I am not for teachers carrying guns in school.
A year following Nashville.
Well. This is the sheriff speaking for Shelby County, Memphis, Tennessee. For those of you who are not familiar with this great state of Tennessee, Sheriff Bonner Jr. says, hey, something's got to be done with these children getting in trouble. But he doesn't condone the new bill also passed that teachers can carry guns in school. I brought you that content recently. Tennessee has passed a bill saying teachers can carry a weapon inside of the schoolhouse in the state of Tennessee, but only if the school district allows it. So there's a stipulation with the new bill. It's passed, but the school district can say, no, you cannot have a gun in the school. So far, Hamilton County and I believe Shelby County are saying no to the teachers having guns in school, or I believe it's Nashville. So we've got a few counties right now saying, we don't want no teachers with no damn guns, but it is a new law. Second law passed is this topic here at hand. Parents will have to pay for their children's crimes. After the first offense, $1,000 thereafter per crime. Is this right? Yes or no? Please go to my community board to take the poll. Please take the poll. Weigh in. You can also put yes or no in the chat if you're listening to this live stream. Thank you for joining me. This is the Vault XL.
School attack, the newly passed bill aims to make classrooms safer. But despite the mandatory 40 hours of school security training and mental evaluation, Sheriff Bonner worries this falls too far outside the job description.
You go into the teacher profession to teach. You don't go into the teacher profession to be teacher / police officer / security officer and so on and so forth.
Now, during our conversation with Sheriff Bonner today, we also discussed plans for a new jail. You can find all those details on our website, WRUG.com. For now, reporting live at 201 Poplar.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Thanks, Pat, for voting. Please feel free to put your commentary in the chat and also on my community page. So how do you all feel about this new bill passed in the state of Tennessee? That your child commits a crime, after the first offense, whatever it may be, you will be responsible to pay $1,000. So it doesn't matter if they stole something out the store, they beat up somebody, they put a firecracker in somebody's mailbox, vandalized a car, whatever the offense may be, $1,000. If you cannot afford to pay the $1,000, you will then be ordered to do community service. Now we got to ask that question. How many hours will the community service be? I'm sure it will be lengthy pertaining to the crime, such as sexual assault, shooting a firearm, beating someone. Now let's ask the ultimate question. Your child has committed murder. Uh-oh. Still going to be $1,000? And then what? Excuse me. How many community hours are you going to do? Your child has been accused of murder, attempted murder. Shut your mouth. See, there's always a stipulation. Just as quick as you say, well, you got to pay $1,000 after the first offense, then what do you do with attempted murder? You still going to keep it at $1,000 per offense? Number two, how many community hours will the parents have to do? Then what if the parents decide, I can no longer deal with this child. They're costing me. They got to get out my house. They got to go into state's care. Now we have more children in juvenile and or foster care. Bingo card. Because I'm thinking some people are going to forfeit their rights to the child and put them out their damn house. Hey, I can't be paying $1,000 every time you go out here and break the damn law. You got to get the hell out of here. But guess what? Ding, 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 ding. You still got to pay the state for taking care of your child. Oh, shit. See, you don't win. This is why the sheriff is saying you have got to monitor your children. You got to talk to your children. He throws in summertime. Hell, these kids are committing crimes winter, spring, summer, fall. They don't care. The moon's out, the moon's in. Some children are just wayward. Some children are acting out because of their home life. Some children just might be innately disruptive, because don't want to use the word evil when they're still minors. But hey, you're entitled to your opinion. Can't stay here. You got to get out of here. Call the state. Got to come pick you up. But the flip side, you give your children over to the state for juvenile facility and or Department of Human Services foster care. You still got to pay. That's Tennessee law. Pay attention. So you don't win either way. 1,000 here, 1,000 here. Now, state is now raising your kid. Tennessee law says, oh, you don't get out scot-free. I ain't taking care of your child for free. You got to pay me child support for your wayward ass kid. Oh, my goodness. See, this is the point. There's going to be repercussions one way or the other, either on the parent or either on the child. You don't win either way in this state. So this is why you need to talk to your children. You need to let them know. You're going to stay in this house, you're going to abide by the rules. If not, you got to go to the street. You got to go somewhere because you can't stay here. And if your little dusty tail want to act a fool and I got to give up my rights to you, guess what? I still got to pay for you in the state's care. Ding, ding, ding. And who wants to do that? So you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. Weigh in, everybody. The first part of this live stream is pertaining to TikTok. TikTok's parent says they will not sell their company. Whether they are allowed to operate in the United States or not. Tennessee has passed a bill fining parents for their children's crimes. It is called the Wake Up Call Bill. And also in this great state of Tennessee, legislation has passed a bill saying that teachers can carry a weapon inside of the school. I'm going to briefly touch on that. Hell no, they don't need no damn gun. Now, I get it. We're around a lot of wayward children as well. But guess what? All you need is a teacher to pop off, misunderstand a situation, and pull a gun out, shoot the child, and God forbid they're having a bad damn day, shoot everybody, child in sight. So just as you heard the sheriff say, no, he doesn't condone guns in school because the teacher is there to teach, not be security, not be the police. I think he's right. Because as we have seen with people who have permits, licenses to carry, they don't have the mental fortitude to carry a weapon. You see this all the time with people popping off. Somebody says something they don't like, boom, pull the gun out. Oh, I fear for my safety. You didn't fear for your safety. Just because somebody says something to you don't like, you don't have the right to shoot them. And that's the point of the story. A lot of people don't own the right to carry a weapon, whether they are licensed or not. And it's too easy to put fear into a person by pulling out a gun. That will usually make a person stand straight up, would it not? Pull out a gun, next thing you know, everybody's ducking and running. But it is the truth in the spoken word. A lot of people are carrying weapons. They have no business carrying a weapon. And that will be my fear in the schoolhouse. Child gets disruptive, gets to talking back to the teacher. Next thing you know, the teacher just says, fuck it, just pulled the gun out, and everybody's running and scurrying. That ain't going to be good. That ain't going to be good. Because if civilians pull out guns, a teacher is a civilian, what is the difference? Let's go over to Nashville. Oh, my goodness. Do I have something disturbing to bring to you guys pertaining to a very nasty bugger who has been arrested for said crimes in Nashville, Tennessee. A black male I don't know how this guy got into this apartment building, because when you go and look at the apartment building, you will see the way it's made, and you're going to have to try to ask yourself, how in the world did he get into the building to assault an Amazon delivery driver. He is an African-American male. I do not know the race of the driver, but nonetheless, it is a female that he sexually assaulted. Took her around for about an hour. Took her to the ATM, had her withdraw $100, and then he left her with her vehicle. He has 105 offenses. Repeat, he has 105 offenses. How do you have 105 offenses at 30 plus years of age? Please explain to me. If you have 6 or 7 by the age of 30, 31, people are looking at you like you're damn crazy. 105. Let's get down to business. WSMV 4 Nashville is the source pertaining to this information, everybody. Thank you.
Downtown apartment are on high alert after an Amazon driver was sexually assaulted and robbed Friday. As our Jordan James explains, even though the suspect was arrested, it does bring up many concerns for people who live in this area.
That kind of worries me. Concerns now fill the lives of residents at LC Silbrook. Now, I'm going to be looking over my shoulder now and just making sure nobody's going to try to approach me. It's a reality coming after a female Amazon driver was raped and robbed while on the job. Investigators say she was delivering packages when Carl Hamilton forced her into the mail room and sexually assaulted her. Once he was done, Hamilton allegedly drove her around for an hour where she was forced to withdraw money. Following that transaction, the 25-year-old was released and he was taken into custody after being spotted by officers at the complex, leaving residents like Ryan Griffiths shaken. But it kind of worries me, like, is he going to come back and try it again? Because he knows how to get into our building. You know, he knows how to bypass the security measures that are there.
Exactly.
So, yes, I do feel good that he was apprehended and arrested, but it does still kind of worry me. Like, Hamilton is now charged with aggravated rape, aggravated kidnapping, and robbery for this incident. His record shows that he's a convicted felon who has been charged with 105 offenses in Nashville since 2017, which includes a previous kidnapping and robbery of another woman back in 2020. Meanwhile, this community is not processing an incident which has changed the way they now view safety at home. So I'll definitely have my guard up, just walking around, walking to the park with my dog and stuff like that. Reporting in Nashville, Jordan James, WSMV4.
Tonight we are hearing from Amazon, a spokesperson for the company, saying in part, this was a horrifying incident and we are in touch with the driver. They go on to say they plan to work with Metro Police in this investigation.
All right, News 4 is the source, WSMV. Most of you probably know this news network. They've been doing a lot of coverage pertaining to Sebastian Rogers and Riley Strain. Here's the latest information, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. 1 second, please.
Amazon delivery driver raped in apartment mailroom and kidnapped, Tennessee police say. An Amazon driver doing early morning deliveries was raped in an apartment mailroom and kidnapped, Tennessee authorities said. The 25-year-old woman was delivering packages at a building in Nashville at around 4 a.m. April 26th, the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department said in a news release. Then 34-year-old Carl Hamilton pushed her further into the mailroom and closed the door, police said. He told her to take off her clothes and then sexually assaulted her, with the attack caught on surveillance footage, according to police. Hamilton is accused of forcing the woman to go to an ATM with him and withdraw $100 from her account, police said. He then drove her around for about an hour before eventually leaving her in her car, police said. Officers responded to the apartment building and reviewed the surveillance footage of the attack. As they were leaving, they said they saw the man outside and arrested him. The building manager and police said Hamilton was arrested at the apartment in January and March on criminal trespassing accusations. Davidson County records show the trespassing charges were dropped the day before the attack on the delivery driver. We're deeply troubled by this terrible incident, Amazon spokesperson Brandon Baribeau said in an emailed statement to McClatchy News. We've been in touch with the driver to assist her during this difficult time and the Metro Nashville Police Department to lend support as they continue to investigate. Hamilton is charged with aggravated rape, aggravated kidnapping and robbery, according to court records. McClatchy News reached out to his attorney April 29th and did not immediately receive a response. Hamilton is a convicted felon who has been charged with over 100 offenses in Nashville since 2007, according to police. Authorities said he assaulted a 24-year-old woman in 2020 and was convicted on charges of kidnapping and robbery. This story was originally published April 29, 2024, 1:24 p.m.
So assault and robbery in 2020. So it's just 24. We're just a few months into 24, going into month 5. How is he free? Stay woke. What are the other 104 offenses? Total 105. So is 105 deducted from this one here? What are we saying? This is 106? Or this 105 total? Who gives a fuck? This is stupid. Why is he free on assault and kidnapping somebody else? Hell, did she have more than $100 in her account? Maybe she lied and told him, all I got is $100 in my account. Hell, I tell him that too. Shit, you're going to take all my damn money out of my damn account. You just raped me. Now you're riding me around. And what were they talking about while they're riding around Nashville area, Nashville, Tennessee? Can you imagine this? You're on your job at 4 o'clock in the morning delivering packages. Some bloke jumps out, assaults you, then rides you around in your fucking Amazon truck. Let me guess, he's high. He gets high on drugs? Of course he does. He's been barred from this property 2 times. January and March. Why is he picking this apartment building? Nice looking apartment building, brick building, downtown Nashville, Tennessee. Why is he picking this building? Oh, because what? He assumes what? Has he assaulted anybody else at this building? Number 1. Groped anybody? Followed anybody at this building? How the fuck is he getting into the building? Make it make sense. Because there's something about this building that he likes. I'm trying to understand, what is it about this building? How does he keep getting in? Does he wait till people walk up, then he follows in behind them? Well, if he's looking scraggly looking, wouldn't you be scared to go walk into the building? And I know you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but if I see somebody looking scraggly, and I know this is a high profile and ass apartment building, and I know we pay a lot of money to live here, or I'm visiting or whatever, I'm not getting ready to go in the building with you. I'm not going to open a door for you. This is why you have to be careful going into buildings where you have to be buzzed in or do a card that flashes the buzzer to go in, because this is how people get robbed and assaulted. People are standing around waiting for somebody to go in the building, and then they want to come in behind you. But you don't know who the hell this is coming in behind you. You thinking what? It's a person that lives there. It's a family. It's a friend. Not necessarily so. Because that's the point of the story. Once the door closes, all bets are off. And I've told you that. Commentary, a relative used to tell me a long time ago, even if you hook up with somebody or you invite somebody over, they seem nice, all bets are off once you close the door. Exactly. Why does this black man keep choosing this apartment building? What is the deal with this building? The hell is going on? Why has he been walking free? 105 offenses. 34-year-old Carl Hamilton pushed the woman into the mailroom, closed the door, told her to take off her clothes, sexually assaulted her, and it's all on surveillance. So now people are going to say, well, what was the point of the surveillance camera and there's nobody watching while she's being sexually assaulted in the damn mailroom? I'll wait. So you all don't have a bellhop? You don't have a security guy in the building that sits at a little desk? So who's operating the camera? What is the main port pertaining to the camera footage? Who's watching the camera? What's the point of surveillance if there's nobody to watch it? You come to somebody after the fact and look at the camera. Oh, yeah, I see you were right. Dear God, what are we talking about? This is ridiculous. Forced her to go to an ATM withdrawing $100. Drove her around for about an hour before eventually leaving her and her car. So then we have to ask, if this is a truck, her vehicle, her own personal vehicle. They also said she dropped the charges. So I'm very confused. Now, let's look at this part of the story right here that's really baffling. After he drove her around for an hour, eventually leaving her and her car. So where did she drop him off? Did he make her drive or did he drive? Number one. Where did he or she stop the car to let him out? Officers responded to the apartment building and reviewed the surveillance footage of the attack. As they were leaving, they said they saw the man outside and arrested him. Are you all hearing what I'm saying? Somebody please talk to the queen because I'm drowning up here. You assault the delivery driver in the building. So then you got to ask yourself, how did she get in the building to put the packages in the mailroom? Is this a building that you're buzzed into from the first door? Or is it a door you can open and then step into a vestibule and then need to be buzzed in from there? How do you get into the building? Can you just walk into this building outright, unobstructed, and just go to the people's apartments? If so, this is dangerous, especially in a metro city. Hell no. 2, assault her, drive her around, rob her, go to the ATM. Did he have a weapon, a knife? Then we're talking about after the fact, she lets him out somewhere or he gets out somewhere and somehow he's back at the fucking building. Are you all hearing this? Please help the queen understand how sick this motherfucker is. 105 offenses. Keeps going over to this building trespassing. January, March. Assaults this woman, which would be offense number 3 pertaining to this apartment building. And then he exacts this assault against her. She drops him off wherever. Hell, he probably told her to let his ass out back at the damn apartment building. And then the police are leaving after conducting their investigation. And look who's outside. Mr. Carl. Carl, what is your damn problem? Did you date somebody at this building? I mean, did you apply for a job at this building? You mad because you couldn't get a job at this building? Why do you keep hanging at this damn apartment building? This is stupid as hell. Who commits a crime like this and go back outside the damn building? The building manager police said Hamilton was arrested at their apartment in January, March. Criminal trespassing accusations. Davidson County records show the trespassing charges were dropped the day before the attack on the delivery driver. So it wasn't that she dropped the charges, the girl who got assaulted. So let me talk to the people at the apartment building. Oh my goodness. Somebody please help me. You have somebody that keeps coming over to your apartment building for some fucking reason. And then you're going to drop the charges. So what happened? Did he go to court or he didn't go to court? Did Mr. Carl Hamilton show up to court for these charges of trespassing at this apartment building? Number 1. Number 2, why did the manager drop the damn charges? Number 3, why did this guy go back to this apartment complex? It says, we're deeply troubled by this terrible incident, Amazon spokesperson Brandon Barabo said in an email statement to McClatchy News. We've been in touch with the driver to assist her during this difficult time in the Metro Nashville Police Department to lend support as they continue to investigate. Mr. Hamilton is charged with aggravated rape, aggravated kidnapping, robbery. He's a convicted felon who has been charged with over 100 offenses in Nashville since 2007. According to police, authorities said he assaulted a 24-year-old woman in 2020, convicted of charges of kidnapping and robbery. So what you're going to ask yourself is the obvious. Had he been arrested on these trespass charges, what would have happened in court? A slap on the wrist, probation? Will somebody jump up and say, oh, he's got a mental problem, he's harmless? He would have been what? Let go? Have to show up to see a probation officer? Does he have somewhere to live? Does he have a job? Probably not. Is he on drugs? Probably so. Who is Mr. Carl Hamilton? Why does he have so many offenses? What are those offenses? Anything heinous besides the kidnap from 2020? Why is he on the street? How about that? Hit the link in the chat if you want to give your opinion pertaining to these subject matters at hand. This is a 4-part live. Convicted of kidnapping and robbery, 2020. Who was that 24-year-old woman? Did he know her? Did he see her? Did this happen at somebody's job, apartment complex? Where did he kidnap the 24-year-old woman in 2020? Somebody better wake up. Because you're talking about 17 years ago. And let's look at his age. He's 34. So at 17, he kidnapped a woman and robbed her at the age of 17. Is everybody paying attention? So where was he staying at 17 to rob and kidnap a woman? Who was the woman? Did he know her? Did he date her? Got mad at her? What? Was he on drugs then? Alcohol? What? So you have to ask all the questions, because what did I tell you about this type of behavior? It starts somewhere. So now we're talking about somebody at 17 kidnapping and robbing a person. And yet he's committed 100-something offenses since that age, or possibly beforehand. Was he committing crimes as a juvenile? Who raised him? Where are his parents? Is he on drugs, bipolar, schizophrenia? What are we talking about? Is this guy homeless? Bingo card. Perhaps he's homeless and he's just doing what he has to do to survive. But this ain't it. Because now you're going from robbery to sexual assault to robbery, whichever goes first. This is bad, 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 bad. Prayers to the young lady. Is she going to sue her employer, Amazon, now? Once again, was she driving her own vehicle and or an Amazon vehicle? Said her car. So that's the sad information, everybody. What a debacle. Last subject matter for the hour. Sebastian Rogers. Lord, I don't know what to say about this case. It's been 2 months since a boy child went missing out of West Tennessee, Hendersonville. 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers living with his mother and stepfather. They have reconciled their differences allegedly. Is this a ruse for Mr. Seth to try to get information from these people, talk to these people, see if they'll tell on themselves, tell him something? What does he really feel? How does he really feel? I think he talks in circles. Please take the poll, because I am confused as Seth Rogers as of late. I don't know where he's coming from. I don't know if it's just he doesn't want to say how he really feel about these people. We know the Proudfoot to full of, you know what? What happened to this child? Did he walk off, run off? Was there something going on in the house that he feared for his safety? He felt unwanted, unloved. What's the truth? WSMV4 is the source. Thank you for joining me. The link is in the chat if you want to come up and join the panel to give your opinion on this 4-part live.
Done.
1 second, everybody.
2 months today since Sebastian Rogers disappeared. That case is gripped in Middle Tennessee with little to no clues as to what happened. Our Michael Ward sat down with his father.
I met Sebastian's dad, Seth, here at this Clarksville playground where the two of them used to love to go. We talked about how it's been in the 2 months since Sebastian went missing and the investigation itself.
I need everybody in the world to help me find my son.
At the park where Seth Rogers watched his son Sebastian play. Tonight, he pleads for help.
I'm supposed to protect him. He's missing. I want to find him.
It's been 2 months since Sebastian disappeared, last seen in the area of his mom and stepdad's Hendersonville home. Since that day, there have been no confirmed sightings of the 15-year-old with autism.
I didn't sleep last night. I didn't sleep at all between text messages and phone calls. You know, people are like, oh, it's been 2 months. And it's like, because it hasn't felt like 2 months to me. It's felt like one continuous long-ass day.
Large-scale search efforts by ground, water, and air came up empty.
Seth's now hired his own private investigators. He wants people to keep sending in tips because the next rabbit hole they go down could be the one that leads to his son. Do you have a belief as to what happened?
As for what happened, no. Because I have no information on what happened. But I do believe that policy needs to be changed. When an autistic child supposedly walks out the door and disappears, it doesn't mean classified as a runaway. It's a missing person. There should be an Amber Alert done immediately.
Seth admits he's curious as to what the dynamic was inside Sebastian's home before he went missing. The TBI maintains there's no evidence of foul play.
Let's go back to that. Hold on one second.
Or and disappears, it doesn't mean classified as a runaway. It's a missing person. There should be an Amber Alert done immediately.
Seth admits he's curious as to what the dynamic was inside Sebastian's home before he went missing. The TBI maintains there's no evidence of foul play.
Bringing people together to pray, to ask God to show us a light.
Seth tells me prayer has helped. He, along with about 100 others, will do that tonight at a Light the Path event for Sebastian in Sumner County. Michael Warwick, WSMV4.
All right, everybody. News 4 is the source. So prayer works, prayer helps. But Seth Rogers, how do you really feel pertaining to the disappearance of your son? Do you believe the prophets are involved? I hear that you've made amends, extended an olive branch, or let's say Mr. Proudfoot extended an olive branch to you individual. I believe he did that for show. I don't think he cares about the child. I don't think the mother cares about the child. I'm going to play you content pertaining to possibly this being a personal situation pertaining to the disappearance of the child. Perhaps the child wasn't wanted in the house. He didn't feel loved in the house. There was strife in the house. And either he walked away or these people got rid of him some type of way. 2 months, nothing. No update from the police, the sheriff's department, the TBI, FBI. Where is this child? He has now hired 2 investigators, Mr. Rogers, to find his child. This is baffling. And this case is eerily similar to Summer Wells, who in June, it will mark 3 years since this girl child went missing out of Rogersville, Tennessee. What are the striking, how odd are the striking similarities from East Tennessee to West Tennessee? Stay woke. 5 years old versus 15 years of age. I find it interesting, this park that he shows in this audio video. It's more of a park catered to children, little bitty children, because you find children who like to slide on sliding boards. Now, I'm not here to say that a 15-year-old wouldn't slide down, but we know that most children who have developmental diseases, they still have the mind of a child toddler. But it's just interesting seeing that. It shows you that the child did not have the mental capabilities of an actual 15-year-old child. So you've got this 5'5" kid, but they have the mind of a smaller child. What happened in that house? Did the child run away? Was the child lured away? Or the child was taken out of the house and disposed of? Who knows the truth? I do believe those people know, the Proudfoots. I don't really care about Mr. Chris going over to Seth, whispering in his ear and all that bullshit. That makes nothing to the Queen, because the Queen knows better. I've been on top of this dirt 53 years. I didn't get to be here by accident. This bullshit, and I smell bullshit. News Nation is my second source pertaining to Sebastian Rogers' disappearance due to domino effect of events. The private investigator working for Seth Rogers, female, feels like this was a jump off. There was a lead off to the disappearance of this boy child. Is she correct? Something was going on in that house, and somebody either got rid of him, sacrificial lamb, or the child ran off. What's the truth? News Nation, everybody, is the source. Thank you for joining me. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion pertaining to the conversation at hand. 4-part live.
Me now is Seth Rogers, Sebastian's father, and Heather Cohen, a private investigator who is now working with him on the case. Thank you both for joining us. Seth, I have to start with you. First of all, I can't imagine being in your shoes. I'm so sorry that you're experiencing this, and I'm grateful that you're joining us tonight. I think our viewers need to understand Sebastian was not physically in the home with you. You are no longer married to his mother, but I just want to check in with you, see how you're doing, and if you know anything tonight that you can share with us.
Just know that he's still missing. I know that there's been really no leads that have been shared with me by law enforcement.
When you say there's no leads, are you working with law enforcement? Are they communicating with you?
Not communicating with me. They're communicating with anybody who'd be my private investigator.
Okay, Heather, I want to weave you into the conversation. You started working with Seth. Why are you working with Seth?
I don't understand. Did he say they were working with him or they weren't? I can't hear.
Please, are you working with law enforcement? Are they communicating with you?
Not communicating with me. They're communicating.
So they're not communicating with him. Why not? You're going to hear the PI say he's been difficult to work with. Naturally, under the circumstances, he would because his child is missing. Why are they not communicating with Seth Rogers? Number one. Number two, are they communicating with Katie and Chris Proudfoot?
With anybody who'd be my private investigator.
Okay, Heather, I want to weave you into the conversation. You started working with Seth. Why are you working with Seth, and what can you tell us so far?
Well, I had received several phone calls, people asking me to get involved in a case, but I wouldn't do it until I was invited in by a family member or law enforcement. And I did end up getting that phone call. A friend of mine said they talked to Seth and he was looking for somebody, a PI to hire, and he had referred me. So I called Seth and here we are. That was about 2 weeks ago. And yes, law enforcement was standoffish at first with me. And I think that's just because, they had some, Seth can be hard to deal with because he's going through a lot right now.
He's hard to deal with, meaning what? Asking too many questions, wanting updates? What do you mean? Sheriff's Department, talk to the Queen. What's the problem between you all and Seth Rogers? Is it because you can't tell him anything because it's a criminal investigation? What's the 411? We know that you don't tell people everything because it is an investigation, but it's hard for people to understand that when, one, they are concerned about the livelihood of their child. That's expected. But we also know police does not have to tell us anything, whether it's our child or not. Also, I can see them not wanting to talk to a PI because they feel like they're on the case. Miss Lady, they don't want to talk to you. Why would they want to talk to you? They feel like they got control of the situation. We also know that Seth wanted the FBI involved. Will the FBI step up and take over? So many dynamics to this case. We have a father who seems more in tune and more caring about the boy child, and two parents who don't seem caring, and that's Katie and Chris, bio mother and stepfather. You're going to hear about another child coming into the fold and visiting the Proudfoots, which is Chris's daughter. Is this the motivation to get rid of this boy? Got to get this kid in here. I don't feel safe with him in here. Blah, blah, blah. Innuendos, allegations of child abuse. Basically, Proudfoot may have thought this boy was a predator. What's the truth? What's the truth about this boy child? And we already know Mr. Proudfoot will not be getting that girl child because you have a whole boy missing. So if you got rid of Sebastian, sir, to get your daughter, well, you effed up on that. Because no judge with any sense, he or she would allow a small child to come into your peripheral custody with a whole kid missing. Autistic at that. Hell no. So if that was your reason for getting rid of the child, you messed up. Katie, if you got rid of the child because you're having marital problems, well, look where it's got you. public enemy number one. Number two.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of trauma. So what can you tell us so far about your investigation? What have you learned? What were the circumstances of the home, of his mother, of his stepdad, the thud that they heard?
Well, I can tell you that from my investigation, I believe that this is a domino effect of events. I believe that we have to go all the way back to probably December and January are going to be key months. There are a lot of events. There was a lot of turmoil surrounding Sebastian. We know that Chris Proudfoot was in the middle of a custody battle with his ex-wife. We know that the daughter did visit over Christmas break. We know that Sebastian was with Seth during that time. We know that that there was a DCS referral in, I believe, February to the Stafford home. That call was likely determined to be unfounded because the case was closed and that file is restricted at this time.
DCS referral to where? She said the Stafford home. What? That don't sound like the Proudfoot. What are we talking about here? Hold on a minute, everybody.
That call was likely determined to be unfounded because the case. We know that that there was a DCS referral in, I believe, February to the Stafford home. That call.
Who is she talking about? That's not the Proudfoots. She says Stafford or Stafford. Who is she talking about? That's not the Proudfoot home, unless she's mispronouncing their name. I don't understand. Who is this private investigator speaking up? Because it's Mr. and Mrs. Proudfoot. So who the hell is she talking about a referral from DCS to see who? About what? I know I'm not going crazy. Let's hear that again, because that don't sound like the Proudfoots. Who the hell is she talking about?
Was likely determined. There was a DCS referral in, I believe, February to the Stafford home. That call was likely determined to be unfounded because the case was closed and that file is restricted at this time. I know Seth has tried to find out more about that call and he has been unsuccessful in doing so. But I've also recently learned that there may have been some talk about Chris leaving Katie, and I feel that probably had something to do with Sebastian. So there may have been some trouble in paradise.
Well, naturally, there's a lot of he said, she said about the Proudfoots that has gone on for a month or so. So what is the truth? Because you know you can't believe everything that you hear. You need a receipt. So what's their trouble in paradise between Katie and Chris Proudfoot? What problems were they having? Was it just about the boy child, or did they have problems with other things? Finances, adultery, attention, him not being home often. Maybe she wanted him home more. Maybe she wanted to have more children. See, you don't know because you're not there. You don't know them. So what problems were these people having? Were they having any problems? Was Sebastian the main problem, only problem, part of the problem, some of the problems? Excuse my French. Are these people happy together, Mr. and Mrs. Proudfoot? Do they have a combination of problems? Because sometimes, it's easy to try to put it off on one thing, such as the boy child being autistic. Could it be these people have problems regardless? They would have had problems even if the boy wasn't there. Because you don't know if somebody's jealous, somebody's greedy, somebody's a whoremonger, somebody spends too much money, somebody's evasive, somebody's rude, somebody's nasty, somebody's abusive, mental abusive, physical abusive, sexual abusive. See, you don't know because you're not there and you don't know these jokers. Who are the Proudfoots? What problems were they having in their household? Was this boy child part of any problems between these two, thus other problems? Who's been talking to this private investigator? Does she have a receipt to anything she's repeating? DCS called, she mentioned some name Stafford or Stafford. That's not them, so who the hell is she talking about? I'm confused. That's not the Proudfoot's name, so who is she speaking of? Now she's also saying that it's unfounded. What's unfounded? Abuse? What are we talking about? Because February is the same damn month that the boy child went missing. Stay woke. Did somebody call DHS on the Proudfoot? Did somebody call DHS pertaining to the boy child that something was wrong with him? He didn't seem right. Didn't seem like he was fed. Didn't seem like he was happy. Didn't seem like what? Or is this PI just going off of he said, she said, social media gossip? Because you know the queen likes a receipt. I get tired of hearing what Pookie said, Ray said. Bring a damn receipt. Because you really don't know people. No, don't use adjectives. You don't know people. You don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know who's happy, sad, suicidal, homicidal. You don't know. You don't know if the boy was sad, depressed. Don't know if he was the type to run away. If he had, ran away. You can't say really what a child would and wouldn't do. Because you know how many times people have said it about their children, and their children did exactly the opposite of what they thought they would do? Oh, my child would never talk to strangers, but then they got him on camera walking away with a stranger. That's the point. Because they're children.
To me, these are all things that need to be considered. Could these things have led up to maybe Sebastian just feeling a certain kind of way, right, and leaving? You know, if he overheard a conversation between Chris and Katie where Chris is saying he can't deal with it anymore, he's out, whatever, you know, that could have been motivation for Sebastian.
Let's talk about that for just a second. How can he give Katie an ultimatum about the child's behavior when, one, he's never there, allegedly? You're gone through the week or every other week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So to me, you have a cushy life. You don't have to listen to problems, complaints. The only time you listen is when you call her or when she called you. Oh, he did this, she did this. The water tank broke. The heat and air is not working. Okay. Normal shit that goes bump in the night. But in the end, even if Katie called complaining about the little boy, he's doing this, he won't listen. Oh, he's disruptive. You're not there. You're not there. So what do you care? And this bullshit about him getting his daughter, that makes no sense. How are you going to get custody of a kid and you're working away from the house? That's why I said all of this is nonsense. This is why you cannot assume anything about this story, because what you're assuming doesn't make any sense. No judge is getting ready to give him custody of the little girl anyway, whether Sebastian was there or not. Stay woke. Sir, you're not here. Who's going to keep the kid? Oh, my wife. Oh, what does she do for a living? Does she work? What are her hours? This is what I said. Nobody's paying attention. But it's not to say a judge wouldn't grant him custody because the wife works as well. But you still got to get home at an hour to pick up the child. We know the children who are younger get out of school early. So depending on Katie's schedule, whether she worked from home or worked at an office, you got to be able to pick up the kids, stay woke. So he's away working out of town. So then the main child rearing would be on Katie Proudfoot. So the judge would have to say, well, what do I know about her life, DCS involvement with her son, other allegations? You got to check all that out. But then we've learned so many children have slipped through the cracks dealing with DHS and custody. So that's kind of like beating the wall as well. All this is just BS.
And to just leave.
Seth, I want to bring you back into the conversation. Was Sebastian safe at his mother's home?
I've heard some things. I have mixed feelings about that.
Were you addressing it with your former wife?
information that has been brought to my attention has been information received since Sebastian has left.
So right here, Seth Rogers, you're talking in circles. Why won't you say how you really feel? You allegedly have made amends with Mr. Proudfoot, but this is a newer video 3 days ago. So you're talking in circles. You're not really saying how you feel. She's asking you a question. Have you talked to the mother about your concerns? And you're just saying information has come to light. You didn't answer her question. Are you not answering because Mr. Proudfoot extended an olive branch at that vigil and you don't want to rock the boat and start up some new nonsense so you all can start falling out and putting more bullshit out here on YouTube? And some people think this isn't the place for family drama, nor is Facebook. Well, you're entitled to your opinion. My thing is, it wouldn't be any family drama if everybody did their damn job. How about that? You wouldn't have to go to Facebook and YouTube and talk bad about what somebody didn't do and what you heard and what they said on a live stream, because you shouldn't be up here talking to these crazy ass people on YouTube channels and panels any damn way. You trying to find your damn kid. But instead, you sitting up here like you're a rock star. I said that. Make it make sense. So, Seth, you're talking in circles. And you were talking in circles really before all this shit came out. The stuff that Nina had to say. You never really told how you felt about this woman, Mr. Proudfoot, any issues you have with them, anything you ever heard beforehand. You basically made it seem like when they started jumping on panels, it's when you started hearing how they felt about your son. Is that true? Did you think they were all getting along before Mr. Proudfoot started jumping on YouTube channels? Are you ever just going to tell us the truth, sir, how you really feel? Fuck the world. Fuck the sheriff's department. Fuck TBI. Fuck the Proudfoots. Just tell us how you really feel. Yes, I think these motherfuckers did something to my son. I don't care what they think, don't think. I'm tired. I'm fed up. I want my baby back. Checkmate. Pardon the language.
And the morning after he left, what happened in the home? Can you answer that?
I know that I received a phone call on my cell phone that I didn't get until I got off of work. Everything else would be law enforcement or speaking to Chris Proudfoot to figure out what happened.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to join.
News Nation is the source, everybody. This is topic number 4. The PI says this is a domino effect of events that possibly led to the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. I don't know what happened in that house. I don't know what was going on with these people and this child. I really don't know what was going on between Seth and his child because I don't know these people. And I know sometimes that what you think is going on ain't going on. But it doesn't look good. And the Proudfoots did not portray themselves in a positive light. The behavior of the mother, the rocking back and forth, never looking and giving eye contact to the news or, the young lady who interviewed her from YouTube. Just a lot of buffoonery. She's looking at Mr. Chris Proudfoot every time she makes a comment and talks about that day that she was out that Sunday talking about the knees. He's answering the questions as if he was here, doing the same thing that Don Wells did in the Summer Wells case. And you have to ask yourself, why? Because I can't answer something for you if I wasn't there. So what I call it is baiting. Somebody has something to hide. Somebody's clout chasing, all of the above. Same thing I saw with that Cajun Navy bullshit with that Iowa trucker. You don't know this lady from a can of paint, but you're doing all the damn talking during the news interview. That's troublesome to me. I want to hear from the person that knows the victim. I want to hear from the person that was last with the victim. I don't want to hear from nobody else. I don't want to hear from nobody that was not with the victim or person missing, deceased. I don't want to hear from Pookie, Ray, Bubba. I don't want to hear from you. Let the person talk that was last with the victim. or person missing. And I'm seeing this trend of people only speaking who were not there allegedly with the missing person. So we have the same situation with somewhere else. Sebastian Rogers, the girl, the little girl by the name of Soto, missing out of Florida. Everybody has something to say about the fucking kid that wasn't there. Don't you find that interesting? All these random people calling 911 in the Soto case. Oh, I just called you and I just called you 911. Excuse me? Are you the mother? No, I'm not. Well, I don't want to talk to you. Same thing with Sebastian. Mr. Proudfoot is allegedly 3 hours plus away, but he's the talker of the conversation. And the wife has to keep looking at him, and he has to keep nodding and, yeah, that happened. Well, how you know what happened and you weren't here? So then you got to ask that question. When did Mr. Proudfoot show up to that address in Hendersonville? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what? Why didn't you go to dinner with them? 3 hours away? That's not a long way to drive. You all go out, spend the day with each other on a Sunday. You all go to dinner, then you get your ass in your truck and you go on about your business. This would make me think this is a ruse. Because what you got to ask yourself is, what time does he normally leave on a Sunday? Christopher Proudfoot. See, nobody asks the pertinent questions. Sir, when did you go home? When was the last time you were home? I can't tell you. Not supposed to talk about it. Okay, well, sir, when you were home, when would you usually get home? Friday, Saturday, what? Friday night, early Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, what? How long would you stay? What would you do when you're home? What type of activities do you all do when you come home? See, nobody's asked that. I haven't heard one person talk about when this man would get home, what they did when they got home. I haven't heard why he wasn't there that weekend, had he came the weekend before. And why could you not come home and you ain't but 3 hours away? Stay woke. You know damn well ain't nobody doing construction on the weekend. You all better stop this bullshit. I know people who work from out of town. They came from out of town to work here for our national government in this area where I live. They come here, living in hotels, apartments, and they go home to their families, loved ones, sugar mama, whatever on the weekends. So explain to the queen why it would be any different with Mr. Proudfoot. You 3.5 hours away and you don't go home on the weekends. Are you all bullshitting me? So is he living a double life? He got another woman, another family? What the hell are we talking about? I won't doubt that Chris got another woman. I won't doubt he's a whoremonger. I won't doubt he's on a dating profile. He probably on Match.com, POF, tag, and I'm sure going to look to see if I see his fat damn face. Stay woke. There's bullshit in this story. Because it always is when it comes to missing children. There's always a case of Department of Human Services allegations and involvement. Now we're here in this case, something was unfounded in February. Why? What was the allegation and why was it unfounded? Now, fast forward, end of the month, poof, voila, kids missing. I rest my case. Do the math. Because the stories are all the same. There's always a call about a child. There's always a closed case. There's always an unfounded case. And then there's always a missing child and then death. So that means somebody in the Department of Human Services is not doing their damn job. And you all are going to have to get off your lazy asses and investigate. If that means the Department of Human Services needs to hire private investigators to watch the people go around digging garbage cans, do what you got to do to get to a conclusion. Because if you notice, all the cases are the same. There's always an allegation of physical, mental, and sexual abuse against the children. And then poof, they pop up missing. And this has become redundant in child cases. So everybody around the universe ain't making up shit. Social workers popping up, ain't popping up, fudging documents, lying on documents, not doing their case studies. And the next thing you know, boom, 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 boom. Kid missing, boom, boom, boom. Kid found, dead. As with the Jordan Rodriguez case, he's buried in the backyard. Social worker buying food stamps from the mother. There's always CPS involvement. And perhaps that is one of the motives for getting rid of the child. The CPS was called. We don't want no more calls. Get rid of him. We're having marital problems. It's not working. I'm tired of you complaining about him. I don't get along with him. We don't get along. Get rid of him. I'm trying to get custody of my child. It ain't going to work with him being here. Allegations of him doing this, touchy-feely. Get rid of him. Probably 1,000 reasons this child was disposed of. None of them would be sufficient. Because no matter what the child did or didn't do, there's no reason for abuse of a child, and there's no reason to unalive a child. 15 years of age, he has the mind of a school child. Get serious. But that is up to the parents rearing the child to know he is still a child. And he's a child who has a developmental disease. What happened to Sebastian Rogers? Will we ever get to the truth? Will he be found? Will he be found alive? Will he be found deceased? Is there somebody that knows the truth about how this child was treated, and they'll come forward and tell us how he was treated and what was going on in that house, and possibly why he is not available for consultation? Do you believe the child is alive? Do you believe the child is deceased? Was he unalived by the Proudfoots? Is there involvement of him being unalived by the father, Seth Rogers? Does he know what happened to the child? Did he find a way to go in and take the child out of there because he knew something wasn't right? Is he hiding the child out? Lots of questions. I don't know the truth, but I know something is off with the Proudfoots. And my spirit is telling me that the boy child isn't alive, because we're now 2 months in. And if this was a way of teaching somebody a lesson, I think by now the child will have surfaced, but he has not. I'm going to go to my community page to look at the polls and your responses. Thank you so much for joining the Vote Excel. Do you feel like Seth Rogers talks in circles? 74% yes, 26% no. 2 comments. We do not know these people personally. Each could be playing game out here, creating their own narrative for underlying reasons. I think looking in directions other than focusing on the prime 3 might be interesting too. Lumbee Queen says CPS does the same, just crazy. Okay. Once again, movie of the week, The Downfall of Diddy, now playing free on Tubi by TMZ. Tennessee passed a bill to fine parents for their children's crimes. $1,000 after first offense and any others thereafter. If they can't afford the fines, they can do community service. Is this right? 52% yes, 22% no, 22% not sure, and also add jail time as well after first offense, 4%. Should Vice President's security detail agent who got into brawl with other agent be fired from CIA, suspended until deemed fit, middle evaluation, or put on a desk job? Fired, 45%. Suspended, reevaluated, 41%. Desk job, 5%. Not sure, 9%. Should castrations be legal in all states and mandatory in first-time offenders? Yes, for both. Legal in all states and mandatory, 82%. No to both, 2%. Yes, legal, but castration only if offend second time, 8%. Not sure of either, 8%. Did Robert Wagner murder Natalie Wood? 65% yes, 12% no, 23% not sure. Will TikTok be banned in the U.S.? 62% yes, 19% no, 18% not sure. Should TikTok owner fight U.S. in court over future ban? 44% yes, 46% no, 10% not sure. R. Kelly also wants New York conviction appeal should it be granted. 15% yes, 78% no, 8% not sure. R. Kelly's appeal on Chicago's SA conviction was denied. Was this the right decision? 85% yes, 8% no, 8% not sure. Harvey Weinstein took ill after announcement of conviction reversed. Is he faking or just became excited over the news and became sick? Faking, 24%. Got excited, became sick, 10%. Happenstance, already sick, 48%. Not sure, 19%. Lord have mercy. Just going through the polls, everybody. Pre-report autopsy says David Schultz's death is not foul play. This is the man who was the Iowa trucker found out in the field here recently, last week. He had been missing since November of 2023. So if his death is not foul play, how did he get to that field a half a mile from his parked truck? 25% says he walked there, then died naturally. Kidnapped, unalive, disposed there. Hitched a ride, foul play, disposed there, 4%. Suicide, 17%. Not sure, 21%. Has Iowa trucker David Schultz's body been out in the field since November 2023? Yes, 15%. No, 56%. 30% not sure. So for those of you who think his body just got put there, when do you think it was put there and where has it been? Just curious. Should Wendy Williams' ex-husband receive alleged past due alimony payments, knowing she stopped working 2 months or so after his last payment? 8% yes, 92% no. One comment. I miss Wendy Williams' show. Well now. Do you think there will be charges in the Kansas City Chiefs' friends' deaths? 26% yes, 50% no, 24% not sure. The estate of 5-year-old Jordan Rodriguez sues Catholic charities for neglect, abuse, and murder of the child, but excluded DHS and medical providers. Should both have been included in the lawsuit? And that would be DHS and the medical providers. 94% yes, 6% no. And the reason why I believe they didn't include DHS because they know the state never pays for child's deaths or extreme abuse while the child was in CPS custody and or having an open CPS case. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Will the military charge and release the name of Navy servicemen who secretly filmed others in restrooms on vessels and posted them to Pornhub? 52% yes, 40% no, 8% not sure. Please check out that video I uploaded 2 days ago pertaining to someone putting a camera on ships, naval ships, and filming men in restrooms, masturbating, and or acts in the bathroom, whatever they were doing. Very sick and disturbing. Just bringing you the latest information. Going to my community page, I have a lot of updates, a lot of stories I post I do not talk about. Several people were found in Oklahoma inside of a home, shot dead. Family, father is the culprit, killed his family. Very disturbing news. Also, the toxicology report pertaining to the Kansas City Chiefs fans. That was done late, January, but we're waiting for the district attorney to release that information. They're the ones who will release that said information. Why they haven't released it, I do not know. Were all these guys drug users? I'm assuming so. But we will wait to see. Woman convicted of dismembering landlord in Chicago 6 days ago. Very scary information. Why did she do that? I don't know. But once again, the jury has awarded the estate of Jordan Rodriguez $12 million. Catholic charities. They will be obligated to pay that money to this child's estate for gross negligence, abuse, and the murder of the said child. Those are the polls I posted up here a couple of days ago. Feel free to take the polls. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. Once again, the movie of the week is The Downfall of Diddy, now playing on Tubi. This is a TMZ documentary. Weigh in. Let me know what you think about it. You feel free to post your comments below the post on my community page. Feel free to comment on any of the polls, and also my videos uploaded, shorts. The Queen has a lot of shorts, and I will be uploading at least 3 shorts after this live stream pertaining to the topics at hand. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $McAngie129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. 4-part live. Tennessee parents will have to pay for crimes that their children commit. Their children. You will be obligated after offense number 2, $1,000. TikTok says they will not sell the company. So if they are banned in the U.S., they will operate in other jurisdictions. Amazon driver assault took place in Nashville, Tennessee. Rape, robbery. The black male has 105 cases. Offenses on the record. And what's crazy is after he got out of her vehicle, he goes right back to that same location and gets arrested by local Nashville police. And Sebastian Rogers, the sacrificial lamb. Was he sacrificed for the Proudfoots to get Chris's daughter? Marital problems? Wayward kid? Tired of dealing with him? All of the above. Or do we have it wrong? The child ran out and died in the elements. Or is the father involved and he's playing coy? What is true to the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers? We will see. Thank you for joining me. This is the Vault XL.